How y'all doing out there today? Listen, we just had this recent bullshit fake news about pipe bombs being delivered through the mail, and the Obama and Clinton and hell, Robert De Niro, George Soros, and all these people. And a lot of folks think that it's a clever way to get people to vote or to lean one way or the other. And hey, that may be true. But I want to tell you the real truth about what's going on, the real reason why they put fear in you, the real reason why Donald Trump just here a few months back was talking about the federal the United States Postal Service going broke when actually 2017 was one of their best years, making a profit of $2.1 billion. So I want to give you a little brief history though on where the Postal Service came from and how it's ran. And I don't think a lot of people even know how the post office runs or who's in charge of it or whatever. But Benjamin Franklin, I think around 1792, he began the United States Postal Service. Now, 1792, that was just a few years after the inception of the federal government in 1789. And they were looking to make revenue since the Whiskey Rebellion caused war, and they just had to find a way of fleecing people for money, because that's what the federal government does, y'all. They're supposed to be there for the people, but they're for the people's pockets. So we'll jump ahead all the way, go back from Benjamin. That was his inception, to make money for guaranteed postage. Now, that was the whole thing. They would guarantee postage because we were still at war with Britain, still having people going through and taking your mail from the Pony Express people. The country was getting bigger. We were spreading out. So they wanted something more secure and something they could make a little money off of, because it's definitely a for-profit establishment. And when I say establishment, in 1971, when they adopted the name USPS, or United States Postal Service, it actually went under it actually had its own branch of government at one time, or one part of government, but now it went under the executive branch. It's not a corporation like y'all think. It's not that type like Amtrak. Amtrak, the federal government bought Amtrak, and but it's a corporation. The post office, the postal service, USPS, is actually an establishment that is governed by the executive branch, by the very man himself that told you it was going broke, that told you to quit using Amazon and quit using eBay and quit using UPS and FedEx. And the thing about UPS and FedEx, that's where the post office is making about a third of their money, because they are subcontractors for the USPS. So there's one big lie that came out of Trump's mouth. Go figure, the man told a lie. But the thing is, they're nowhere near going broke. That's his company right now. He is the CEO. He's the one that hires the Postmaster General, and the Postmaster General is the manager. So that's basically what it is. It's a part of the executive branch, and it's for profit. It's always has been for profit, and it always will be for profit. Now, a lot of y'all may think that it was going broke because people use stamps and to mail their letters, or first class mail, and pay a little bit of postage on it. 50 cents, 75 cents on a letter. I think a stamp's in the 40-cent range these days. And that's what funds it. Well, no, that's not what funds it at all. Like I said, they sub out work to UPS and FedEx. But they also have this new thing that they started lately. I'm pretty sure y'all are all familiar with that, and the priority mail. That little box, I can put up I don't know, I think 10, 15 pounds in it, and I can mail it at a flat rate. The flat rate postage is their bread and butter, y'all. The only thing losing with the post office is the mail, like the pipe bombs came in. You get it now? The first class mail, the stamp mail. That's cheap. I can sit there and mail something in this for I think $7.65. But if I made my own box and put my own things in there, it probably only cost me $1.50 to mail that, depending on the weight, because they do go by weight. Now, another thing you got to take into consideration is that each and every employee of the United States Postal Service is a federal employee. Some of them are called civilian employees, but that's because they didn't have military service. So that's another little trick you got to pay attention to. So these are all trained people inside the buildings up to your postal carrier. that are trained to find things like these bombs. So they should have never even got there before. I guess y'all forgot about the Unabomber scare or the anthrax scare that we've had recently over the last 20 years. They're very tight in what I mean. You can't put anything through the mail that they don't see. Let's just put it that way. So the 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 fake bomb scare came up. It got everybody worrying about it, and now they're going to try to secure it. Now they're going to try to make it more secure. And like I said, if you'll just pay attention to like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe a half a year ago, Trump was just whining about how the post office is going broke, and that UPS and FedEx was taking all the money, and they're actually subcontractors that have to pay the post office. Like I said, a third of their revenue comes from FedEx and UPS. And I don't know. I guess they were trying to either, if you hated Trump, you would use UPS and FedEx more, and if you love Trump, you would use them less. But it don't matter because they want to get down to a system, y'all. And here's the point. If it's all about money, right? You know it's about money. It ain't about your job. It ain't about we the people. It's about the federal government making money off of us. So here's the scam. They're trying to get it to where they get rid of first-class mail. In otherwise, your stamps, your packages that you do yourself, taking something to the post office and weighing it. And they're going to go to these fixed boxes. You've seen them so far. They've got like an envelope, then they got a big manila envelope, then they have this size box, and then about 3 or 4 other size boxes. When these go through, they don't get checked. They don't get touched because robots touch them. Humans don't touch these. They don't have to sort the letters. They don't have to see if the stamp's right. They've already been paid for right there at the counter. So very soon, they're going to be telling you that the stamp's obsolete or that first-class mail is no longer necessary because we have this safer way of mailing things. So it's nothing but a big Ponzi scheme. Now you say, Bill, okay, they changed the package. We start using boxes. We start using their manila envelopes. It's the same thing. Well, no. Whether you believe it or not, the United States Postal Service hires about 271,000 people. One of the biggest employers of the United States federal government beside our military. 271,000 people. Now, think about how many of those jobs are the handlers that are in the stopping points, the big mailing points. Like in Georgia, it's Macon, and they'll send everything out. Down in Florida, it's Jacksonville. This has tens of thousands of people. Well, if they went to the robots and the robots know how to grab and hold and mark and measure these boxes, they don't need those people anymore. So you're talking anywhere from 35,000 to 65,000 jobs that will no longer be needed in the post office. It's not because of the price of the stamp. It's not because of first-class mail declining. It's not because they're broke. It's because they found a way to scare you into believing that they're going to come up with a better way for you to do your mailing. Now, I don't know what the solution is on this, except for, I don't know. The mail is very, it's a part of our life. We need it. We have things we can order online and they're shipped to us. Now, that part's not going to change. But like I said, your daily mail, mailing a Christmas card to your mom, or a birthday card to a friend or something like that, mailing your bills in. When we got on the computer, we were supposed to go paperless anyway, right? And we could all do our bills over the internet. Well, they want that now because the internet, and they're going to push this again, and you pay attention to this close, because when you pay your bills over the internet, that gives them access to your bank account. And when they have access to your bank account, and you say something negative against the government, or you become a homegrown terrorist, they can shut your bank account down. So with paperless mailing, they can literally shut you down financially. But like I told you before, and you mark my words and watch, probably before the end of the year, but they're going to use this scare. And that's the other thing. If Obama and Clinton and Bill Clinton, right, they're former presidents. They used to run the United States Postal Service. They used to be the boss of the Postmaster General. Sure, they're in on it. Where did Robert De Niro and George Soros come in? I have no idea. They might be pandering to the left to get people to vote left, or to hate Trump even more, or to hate this Republican guy they found down in Florida in a van that sent these pipe bombs. And saying that one more time, did y'all forget the Unabomber scare where people really were blown up? I think even a senator got blown up. Have you forgotten the anthrax scare, where we still ain't seen the anthrax, but we sure heard a lot about it? They use this to tighten up their fist on the United States Postal Service. And all of this is working hand in hand to fool you, the American consumer, the American that uses their mail and probably likes it. I know it's kind of outdated. Like I said, I thought the one cool thing about the internet would be to go on a paperless system, save some trees, since I'm such a tree hugger. But on a serious note, I thought it would be less worry and less trash, and like I said, less deforestation to get the paper. So look at all what they're doing. They scared us into believing that, and they say, let's just go back to September 11th. They scared us into believing that the government could protect us, and and George Bush said, you're either for us or you're against us, and we fell for that. They scare us all the time, y'all. They scare us into. They've been trying to scare you into giving up your gun rights, with the school shootings and the mass shootings and the church shootings. And it's a shame that we don't know what's real on that, or even that people are actually being murdered in the name of scaring you, so you'll give up your weapons. This all comes down to one thing. The United States federal government is not good for the United States of America. And it is not the United States of America, y'all. It is an entity that somehow managed to get control. And you know what? Because that's the way a republic works. A republic is when we hire representatives to do our work. So we got lazy and people are doing our work. And they're damn sure doing our work. They got you afraid about every Ebola virus, Zika virus, everything that comes up that they want you to fear has all been lies. So I want you to see this lie from the United States Postal Service, that the CEO is Donald J. Trump, that came out there and told you how bad FedEx and UPS was ruining the USPS's business, when it's a third of their revenue and their best revenue, because they're subcontractors. So they don't have to pay for the employees. They don't have to pay for the insurance. They don't have to pay for the retirement. Matter of fact, they may even be getting down to that, brothers and sisters, where there won't even be a USPS, and we'll just be using outsourced things. But the whole thing is to get you where you're not buying stamps anymore, where you're so afraid that you don't want to mail anything, or you don't want to receive mail unless it's in one of these. And let me y'all get a good look at that. It's called priority mail. You see that? But let me get in there. Priority mail. Already got a little UPS symbol on it and everything. That box is already marked. You can go to the post office and you can pick up as many as you want. You can pick up the envelopes. You can pick up the boxes. It comes Christmas time. Hey, get a box. $13, I'll mail this box. $7, I'll mail my daughter in Florida something for Christmas. See what I'm saying? It's more expensive. It's controlled by robots already. It's already an automated system, and it's going to take away 35 to 65,000 jobs. Yes, with the 3 zeros on it. They're not going to need all those people. They only need the mail carriers and the truck drivers, and they may not even need them anymore if they keep outsourcing this to FedEx and UPS. It may not even need your postman that comes to your mailbox every day that you say hey to, or you say kiss my ass to, whatever it is. Everybody's either got a good one or a mean one, but they may not even need them anymore. They can just outsource it, and that, like I said, that way they don't have to pay insurance and retirement and salary to some other private company that they paid off to do their job. So look at the truth about what's going on. Look deeper than the story that you hear on TV. I'm going to say this a lot to y'all. You're going to hear it from me, and you've heard it from me forever. So I'm just going to say it again. If it's on the TV, it's 180 degrees from the truth. If the leader of the free world, which why would a free world need a leader? But if the leader of the free world gets out there and says, we're going broke, they're probably making a lot of money. They just want you to think they need money. This is billionaires and trillionaires and a super rich elite government that are begging for you to pay their way. And now they're going to take your jobs and use some crappy damn thing. Huh? Something that robots do the job. Then the robot's going to get your job for too long. You might want to be thinking about that and what you do. It's time to turn our backs on this United States federal government, y'all. They ain't doing nothing but fleecing us for money. They fleeced other countries for money. This is what they do. This is what they've done since 1789, since George Washington. What was the first thing George Washington did? He put a 25% tax on alcohol and almost started the very first Civil War over people not, they didn't want to pay 25 cents on the dollar for their liquor. And they didn't, and they wanted to be able to make their own liquor. That's why making liquor and all that's illegal. It ain't illegal. It's just illegal if you get caught. Same thing with cannabis. The same thing with hemp. Same thing with weeds like crabgrass and all that. They told you all that's weeds and that's going to ruin your yard when all it was Monsanto's. They're actually a government corporation. Um, and the Rothschild Pharmaceutical Corporation wanted you using their medicine, not natural medicine. So they demonize weeds, and they even put a poison that is killing people, and they're paying off people today for killing them with the Roundup, the Agent Orange from Nam. I mean, this is what they do, y'all. They're nothing but death and destruction for life, for people that want to live like this tribe wants to live. So we'll live in knowledge. We'll live in wisdom. We'll pass this on to each other. When we catch lies like this, we'll bust them out and we'll tell each other, hey, don't be a sucker, be a brother, be a sister, and think, because all they're out there to do is make money off y'all. All of us, all of us. They make more money off of sick people. They make the most money off of scared people, people that live in fear. So I'll just ask you like I always do. Don't live in fear, because that costs you a lot of money to live in fear. And you need to think about that. Peace. I love you. And pay attention. And pay attention to this one thing. If you see it on the TV or in the news, it ain't the news. It's news entertainment. And it's designed to make you doubt yourself, make you doubt what you know inside, make you doubt the elders around you that have lived through a lot of this crap that we've been talking about that's going on here lately. But no, there wasn't no bombs delivered. Matter of fact, did y'all even see the bombs before I get off here? Did y'all see them pictures of the bomb? That's a Hollywood bomb. That device wouldn't even go off. I don't know how to make a pipe bomb, but I know a guy that does. And no way, that wouldn't have done nothing. And anyway, how you gonna put something on a timer when you don't even know when it gets delivered? Because guess what? Our first class mail is always late, but that robotic mail is always on time. You ever notice that? Peace. I love you. And don't live in fear. Think for yourself.